Have you ever had a man look you in the eye and say to you, our connection is unmatched? I've never felt a connection that I have with other people. I love you deeply, but the life that I'm living is hectic. It's frustrating. And what I want for you is for you to experience peace. And so he doesn't commit. And he couldn't and didn't have the capacity to step into choosing you fully or choosing commitment with you fully. And then you're left wondering, is it me? Is it my wounds? Am I broken somehow? And my question for you is to consider, what if it's not a defect at all? What if there is no brokenness here? Nothing to fix, but what you're experiencing is actually archetypal energy that you're moving through. And it's not something that we need to fix. It's something we need to balance. So for years, and now, drum roll, I introduced to you the wild woman archetype. I craved freedom. I lived deep in this energy. I craved freedom, adventure, soul deep passion that didn't tie me down. I did not want to be tied down. I wanted lovers who lit my body up and my spirit, but who didn't come too close. And and the reason for that is because closeness felt like being smothered. I celebrated part-time love. I wrote songs about it. Those of you who want to check that song out, I'm sure I've got it on a Spotify or whatever, not Spotify, SoundCloud somewhere. I'll drop it in the comments. Um, and for me at that time, that is what felt nourishing. That is what felt good, and it felt safe. But as I evolved, oh, got a tremor of truth there. I realized something that I was no longer satisfied with lovers who couldn't meet me halfway. And I began to question why is this my reality actually? Why is it that I feel so that I have felt such a deep need to be so free and so non-committed? And some part of that answer is in my gene keys and my human design, which is why I want to bring and weave this in when we uh, do this program. And this is why we're looking at all of these different systems for your unique story, and understanding your unique specific pathways to your fullest potential in love, in business, in life, in empowered, in personal power, in satisfaction, in joy, in success. Because yes, some of these ideas are universal, but your own evolution into integrated wholeness is going to come through us looking at how we can weave those webs together from your map. And even though some of our stories and experiences um, have similar threads and similar core patternings, your way will be unique. So what happened was my desire began to shift. My soul started awakening me towards a new experience of devotion, stability, and partnership. Something that I had always pushed away, like I didn't need, I didn't want. And that's when this pattern appeared. Men who adored me, men who told me our connection was once in a lifetime, but when it came to commitment to build and step up, they couldn't. Hmm. And one of them, I realized later, mirrored the exact energy of my father, the Peter Pan archetype. Beautiful soul, playful, artistic, but uninitiated. Not yet in his king, and not able to hold the depth of the woman that I was becoming. So even though 10 years prior, when we met the first time and our connection was just so, it's not even intense. It wasn't intense. It was just soul deep. It was soul recognition. It felt like home. We, as he, in his own words, craved my love, affection, and warmth. And what I received from him, being deeply in my huntress and deeply in my wild woman, he gave me a sense of devotion and stability and provision. Actually, he had provided energy when we first met in terms of just makes me a bit emotional thinking about it, actually. Um, we both served a purpose for each other at that time, and it was a beautiful thing. Um, but when we've reconnected 10 years later, for my higher self telling me I needed to rewire my desire, elements of the core thing I noticed in rewiring my desire was I needed to move out of the pattern shaped by my early experience of the role model of the father, of choosing potential in partners and trying to fix or be with men who provided what was familiar in terms of this light, playful, gentle, loving aspect, but was not able to hold something more serious with responsibility. And when we met the first time, there was no sense of responsibility, but I didn't need it because I was my own woman. I had my own money. I had my own home. I was completely self-sufficient. So the man in my life wasn't there to provide that for me. That wasn't what I was looking for at that time. But here is the thing. Connection is real, but connection doesn't equal capacity. So what I mean by that is that a man can feel the soul pull, but if he hasn't stepped into his king energy, he doesn't have the structure to match it with the action. And this is where archetypes matter. The wild woman is magnetic, uncontainable, and inspiring, but men often feel that they can't ground with you. The maiden, she sees the potential, but sometimes ignores the present embodiment. That's where we see like, oh, but but he's amazing at this, or I can just see how great he could be, but he's not embodied in that. It's not coming from him. So as much as you can see that, unless that person's willing to step into their own personal power, it's not going to work. And then the queen balances freedom with stability, inspiring devotion, and calls in men who are ready to meet her. And that is what we're moving to from the maiden to the queen. This is why so many of us get caught up in the template of almost love, almost chosen, almost adored, because our nervous system is wired to find love in longing instead of stability. Um, and the shift happens when we stop asking, am I chosen? To, am I choosing? When you anchor into your queen energy, your frequency shifts from I inspire unmatched connection to I am the woman that men are ready to devote and build with, and I am ready to choose among them. So if you are tired of part-time lovers and you're done with almost love and you're ready to feel safe in devotion, cherished in commitment, and empowered in intimacy, this is your initiation into the queen. This is your soul calling you into the queen's pathway. And inside the Maiden to the Queen program, we will do the luxurious inner work to balance your archetypes from the wild woman, the maiden to the queen, and many, many others. We'll rewire your nervous system so that devotion feels safe. We'll upgrade your subconscious templates that keep you in longing. We'll call in men who are not just connected, but are initiated already because you don't need to be fixed. You just need to align your archetypal energy with the love that you truly desire. And this isn't a dating program. This is about coming into wholeness, coming into personal power as a divine feminine woman, knowing yourself first and anchoring deeply into that. Um, so there is no need to be fixed. What we're saying is let's balance into our archetypal energy with the love that you truly desire and see how it ripples out into your business. This is what I mean. This is the work of grounding into self first. If this resonates, the link to join the waitlist is below, or comment and I will connect via. Let me know that you want to be put on the waitlist, and I will put you there and step into your queen. Because devotion isn't something that you chase, it's something that you magnetize when you embody who you truly are.